What's going on, guys? It's Nick. I'm here with the Texas Tech video for y'all. We did have a bye week last week. Things that happened in that bye week. Texas loses a week after they beat Texas Tech to UCLA. So, like Cowboy TD said, Texas fans are about to find out a lot about their team with the OU game coming up. OU has played pretty well. I mean, they're undefeated so far, but always a tough challenge in Dallas. Start of October, so interested to see how that one goes. But I'm here to talk about Texas Tech versus Iowa State this weekend. Um, Iowa State did lose to Kansas State this past weekend, 20-27. So, and as I mentioned before, Texas Tech did have a bye week where they got a chance to work out kinks. And no means was it an off week. They definitely worked their tail off to get their team in shape and work out the kinks. Things that have been bugging them 3 games into the season. 2-1 with a loss to Texas and wins over SMU and New Mexico. Um, Things that they did work on in practice during the bye week. Pressure on the quarterback. As far as blitzing goes, definitely want to see some of that against Iowa State because James Willis mentioned that he was a little bit skeptical to blitz Garrett Gilbert. So I don't know why. I mean, Tech did come up with sacks whenever they had to. Brian Duncan and Scott Smith came up huge. So don't see why blitzing was a problem when they did blitz, they definitely affected Gilbert. So, interested to see how the defensive line works this week as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. Run defense has been solid, at least through my eyes, it has. I mean, they still do give up a big running play every now and then, but as far as the whenever they need like 5 yards, Tech usually hasn't let them get it this year. So I know that really didn't make much sense, but anyway, point is Tech's defense as a whole has improved. Let's see, they had 3 picks last week. 2 were Jarvis Phillips, 1 was Scott Smith. 2 of the passes deflected by Scott Smith. Jarvis Phillips did have an interception return for a touchdown. That game was just awful. Awful performance. Defense kept them in the game. If the offense produced whenever the defense created a turnover, definitely would have been a whole different story. But then again, Texas didn't play as solid as they could have either. So definitely think the game was not what it could have been. I honestly thought Tech could win that game, but didn't expect them to play that poorly. Texas was the better team, and they did beat us for a reason. Tech didn't execute, and you can't not execute against a team that good. But that's my final burn on the UT game. We're 3.5 minutes into the video almost, and basically haven't talked about Iowa State so far. Yeah, defense needs to step it up this week. Tommy Tuberville's new defense has definitely improved. Neil Brown's offense shaky at times. Their offensive execution, we got to do more than Potts to Leong because people are going to figure that out. Don't get me wrong, Leong is probably the best receiver that we have this year. No, I take that back. He's the most used receiver that we have this year. I mean, he has 6 or 7 touchdowns, and Taylor Potts has thrown for 9. So, just saying. I mean, pick another target. You have so many. You have Alex Torres, Austin Zuzalik's back, Detron Lewis, Tremaine Swindle, Lyle Leon. Those are 5 good receivers, but spread the wealth. Then you got Baron Batch and Eric Stevens, Harrison Jeffers coming out of the backfield to catch passes. I mean, your options are open. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't limit it to just Leon, but then again, they do have connections from back in their high school days when they played together. So, offensive execution needs to definitely be better than it was against Texas. Definitely think we can blow out the Cyclones this week. So interested to see how that goes. Offensive running offensively has been poor so far. I thought Baron Batch would do really well with the more carries that that he's able to get under Tommy Tuberville. And so far, the running game hasn't been spectacular. I mean, I expected the transition to take a while, but it's time to get going. Like Tommy Tuberville said, you have to be able to run the ball to do well. You can't just be one dimensional. You got to be two dimensional on the offensive side of the ball. And so with them working on a running game, definitely think that'll help them out in the future, but it'll probably take them a while to get accustomed to everything that's going on. And by no means do I view this as a transition year. I think everybody's ready to play and everybody's ready to win. It's just a matter of execution. If they can execute, they'll do fine. If they do what they did against Texas, we're in for a long season. So let's just hope that they worked out the kinks in the bye week and they're ready to go against Iowa State on Saturday. Until then, guys, actually not until then. I'll probably make a video on Friday detailing the game more as a whole, as opposed to this is what I think we need to work on. This is what I expect. I'll make a preview vid for y'all later. But for now, I'll see you later. Guns up, Wreck 'em Tech. Later, guys.